Welcome everyone to today's webinar. Very excited to have you all here. We're going to be talking about great flexible opportunities with a company called Appen, and you'll learn a lot more about that company and what they do and the types of opportunities that they have available in the coming minutes here. I just had a couple housekeeping items to go over for today's webinar. First of all, this webinar is being recorded, and we'll be sending a link to that recording to everybody who's here today, and also for anybody who's registered but wasn't able to attend. Everyone will receive that link tomorrow in an email, so you'll be able to review it and make sure that you've got all the information correct that we've discussed today. The second thing is the webinar will go for about 1 hour, so we'll be going this full hour, and there will be some presentation by our guest from Appen today, and then we will open it up for audience question and answers. So if you have a question as we're going through the presentation, you can put that in the questions area of your GoToWebinar control panel. And if you don't see that GoToWebinar control panel, look around your screen for just a little tiny orange arrow, and if you click that arrow, the control panel should magically appear. And you'll see the questions area where you can add your questions. Please feel free to add those throughout the presentation, and we'll be getting to as many of those as we can at the end of the presentation. We'll try to answer the questions that are most relevant to the widest number of people here in the audience. So if you have a very particular question about your very individual circumstance, we probably won't be able to ask that one. We're going to try to address the ones that the most number of people would benefit from hearing the answers to. And without further ado, I want to turn it over to Tammy Perkins from Appen. Tammy is the SVP of Crowdsourcing and HR, the Senior Vice President. Tammy, thank you so much for being here today.
Look, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to participate with FlexJobs, and thanks for everyone who's joining today, and happy holidays. This is a great time of year and very busy time of year. Just in terms of introduction, as Bree said, I lead HR and recruiting, or crowdsourcing as we call it at Appen, and we hire individual contributors and full-time employees, and I'll give you a little bit of background as we go through today. Today I'm going to talk about our company and give you some background around Appen, the flexible opportunities that we have from individual contributor roles to full-time roles, and some work-from-home requirements and why work for us and how to apply, and then we'll answer some questions and answers at the end. So let's get started. Appen was founded in 1996. We're headquartered out of Sydney, Australia. We're a publicly traded global leader in language and search technology services. We provide critical language data and services to the world's technology companies and social media companies to help them develop and globally scale their products to rely on language technologies. We are headquartered in Australia, based in Sydney. We have 242 employees worldwide. We have offices in the U.S. I'm based out of Seattle, in the Kirkland area, and we have a team of people who work in the Seattle area, and we have an office in the Bay Area. In the U.S., we also have a large virtual workforce, people who work from different states, and we have an office in the Philippines, and we have an office in the UK, as we just acquired MMG. So it's very much a virtual company, big global company where people can work from anywhere. In addition, we have a global network of contractors working on various projects, including social media evaluation, web search evaluation, transcription, crowdsourcing, and linguistics. These contractors lend their experience and expertise to help improve technology products and services that we use every day. And I have some links that you can apply, and then as I go through the presentation, I can tell you a little bit about how to apply if you are interested. We have expertise in 180 languages and dialects. So a lot, we have a lot of offerings, and there are different types of roles that we hire for different markets, and we're hiring in the US, we're hiring all around the world for search, e-commerce, and social media platforms. On the next slide, I'll talk about some of our flexible opportunities and how you can join Appen. We have roles, for example, some of our remote freelance social media evaluation teams are working on one of the world's leading social media platforms to improve how their algorithms distribute information to users. Other teams under the same social media team are doing similar work for mobile photo sharing application to aid in content search and relevancy. We're also hiring for language consultancy and individuals spanning over 150 countries to contribute to speech data and annotation through transcription, localization, and linguistic programs. This data is used to improve voice recognition products for cars, phones, computers, and much more. So we have a variety of different individual contributor roles on contract. This is really, we have opportunities for the flexible opportunities to be able to work from home, work anywhere virtually. This is particularly appealing to some of our crowd workers who want the flexibility for their family, maybe stay-at-home parent, student, retiree, or additional work on the side, and military spouses, etc. So, you know, truly a virtual workforce, and the positions are part-time remote with flexible opportunities, and we also have full-time opportunities. We've had a lot of high growth this year, and we have opportunities in the US and in the Philippines and Sydney as we continue to scale our business. In terms of training for the individual contributor roles, we have different training programs, and that's based on the different roles that we have. Before contractors can enter production, they go through training, which we call qualification process. And this helps candidates master the basic concepts of that task. And they're given a specific time frame where they can train, and it's specific to that particular task. You don't need to be a technical expert. You know, if you know your way around social media or around the internet, you know, that's helpful in terms of the type of roles that we're trying to fill. So you don't have to be an SDE or technical wizard to be able to do some of the work, but the requirements are that you do have computer access. You have a computer that is, you know, a few years old, that is current with technology, and you have internet access, phone line, etc. These are actual quotes from our crowd workers. And we have an interesting mix of crowd workers who are working virtually, and they have the ability to work around their schedule. As I said, you know, there are different types of people who join Appen because they have the flexibility, you know, with their family, with school projects, with, you know, working at different times that suit their lifestyle. And this quote is from one of our crowd workers that says, working for Appen keeps me connected to the technology industry. I find the projects interesting and fun and love the flexibility of part-time work. And we also have on the next slide one of our other testimonials from our crowd workers regarding work-life balance. And this is something that is really a part of our core values. The reason why people join Appen, not only because for the flexibility, is because that there's a lot of ways where from our actual contractors that these roles provide them the ability to work from home and contribute and still have time for their family. And this is an actual quote from one of our crowd workers. To join, you can go to join.appen.com and apply for some of our roles. We have, and if you go to the website, there are over 4,000 open positions all around the world, and you can find a role that's suitable for you that would work for your particular needs. And we do different projects with companies where we're looking for certain demographics for a specific project. Right now we have around 90 different demographics and projects that are going on. So there are several opportunities that can really help candidates and it will help them in terms of meeting their work-life balance and also meeting our clients' needs. You can also follow us on social media. We post frequently. This is our audience. This is where we are attracting talent to work for our crowd in social media and on different types of forums. So this is our different social media footprint. We have Facebook, LinkedIn. We have videos on YouTube, and we have Instagram on Appen Global. And you can also learn more with FlexJobs.com. We have a great partnership with FlexJobs, and we'll continue to post with them as we have different roles. So please follow us if you want to, if you're interested in the future for opportunities. We also have a video that I'd like to show, and this is a great visual to help you understand what types of work that we do via social media. And the song is really catchy too, the music, so you may hear it all day today.
And we might not actually be able to have the sound play through, but for anybody who wants to view the video with the sound on the handouts, handout that you can download from the GoToWebinar control panel, we have a link to this video where you can view it online and get the full effect of the video because it's very visually lovely right now, but without the sound, the song really does add a lot to it. So definitely encourage everybody to, if you go to the handout section on GoToWebinar, you can download a handout for today's presentation and get the link to view this video.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to join and see the, and you'll hear the catchy song probably for days. But but that just gives you a quick view of the type of roles that we are posting for now. On some, you can work from your phone if that works for you in terms of 1 to 4 hours per day. And we have a lot of different opportunities within Appen, and if you are interested, please reach out and contact us at joinappen.com, and we will work with you on trying to find different roles that are suitable.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tammy. This has been great so far. I just have a couple things to add for the folks on the call today. In case you're not familiar with FlexJobs, there's a couple things that you should definitely check out. FlexJobs, as Tammy said, is a great partner with Appen. We post a lot of their jobs on our site, so you can definitely, if you are a FlexJobs member, you can check out Appen through your FlexJobs account. And if you're interested in signing up for FlexJobs, we can answer some questions about that. But for the most part, I wanted to direct your attention to some helpful resources that we have on the site that will make your job search hopefully be a little bit easier and faster and also safer, since we weed out all the scams and bogus business opportunities and things. So the first is our job search advice blog. So as you're putting together an application for Appen and wondering kind of how to showcase your different skills, we've got all sorts of articles related to resumes and cover letters and interviewing and application tracking systems and also flexible jobs galore. So lots of information there, and that's all free and open to the public. We also have a free company guide, which has, it's our database of companies that we've researched over the last 10 years since FlexJobs was founded. And it features over 40,000, actually over 45,000 companies that have been screened and verified to be legitimate and also to have hosted or posted flexible jobs in the past. So it's a really good guide if you're looking for flexibility in particular to find lots of companies who offer that sort of thing. And then we also have the ability to search by jobs or search for jobs by location. So I know we have a number of people asking where these positions might be available, and we'll get to that more specifically with Tammy in the Q&A session. But just for jobs in general, if you're looking for flexible jobs, if you go to that web address, you'll be able to search for flexible jobs based on your location and find both jobs that have a location requirement that are open to you based on where you live, and also jobs that have no location requirement and would allow you to work from anywhere. So that's a good way to do that. And then you can also search jobs by 100 different career categories and subcategories. And so that's something that if you go to flexjobs.com/jobs, you'll be able to see all the different types of jobs that we have listed based on the career fields that they're in. So that'll give you a good way to pinpoint all the different types of flexible jobs that are available for you based on the type of work that you are interested in doing or that you've done in your career thus far. But without further ado, I want to turn it over to our question and answer session. And we do have a number of questions coming in here, Tammy. So let's get started and see how many we can do. We've got a good amount of time for questions. So hopefully we can get through a number of these. So one question that has come in a couple times is about the positions. I know you mentioned that you have some full-time roles and then some independent roles, and which ones are employee-based roles and which ones are freelancer or contractor roles? Can you just kind of define that a little bit more for people?
Yes. Our independent contractor roles are for crowdsourcing, and we also have language resource roles, and it's defined on our website. If you look in the job description that's posted, it will let you know. We do have full-time positions for team managers. We have system administrators. We posted for a marketing manager position and business analyst, and we do have some full-time roles that are located in the U.S. And they are posted on our website and posted on different career websites such as LinkedIn, etc. And we also offer flexibility, but those positions are full time. The independent contractor roles are part time, and those are more flexible in terms of working around the scheduling. And we offer variety of those in different markets, and we're recruiting in all different states in the U.S. and all around the world. So there are a lot of opportunities there for our crowdsourcing positions for various projects to meet the client needs.
All right, great. Thank you very much. And for those independent contractor roles, like the crowdsourcing roles that you had mentioned and some of the others, you also mentioned the training process. Is that a paid training or an unpaid training?
It is an unpaid training. And
Okay.
it depends. You know, the timing depends on the type of role.
Sure. Okay. Yep. That makes
Yeah, it
sense.
could be a lot quicker versus, you know, some that may be just a little bit more detailed.
Okay, great. And then, the training, also another question about the training. Is that done from home, just like the jobs are remote? Is the training also remote?
Yes, everything is virtual. So you can do it
Awesome.
from anywhere. And that's why the roles that we have been so appealing for people. So, for example, let's say that you've relocated with your spouse or family, or you are military spouses, students. You can work from any state, any country. It's definitely virtual. If you have the ability to work virtually, we have opportunities.
Great. I think actually we're getting a number of people from different countries asking if some of these jobs are available for them in their countries, and it sounds like the answer is yes, they are. It's a pretty easy answer. All right. Another person is asking, for these part-time contractor roles, does anyone ever progress eventually into a full-time role? Is there sort of a career path for those, or are those mainly sort of independent, project-based, without much progression?
Actually, it depends on the individual and their interest. If I look at a lot of our project managers and people who have moved their way up within a company, we have a lot of people who started out as part-time contractors, and they really understood the business, or they were passionate about it. So that, you know, there's a possibility there if people have an interest in Appen.
Great. All right. And we have some folks who have applied but haven't heard back yet. What's the typical time frame as far as applying for the independent contractor roles? And if someone applies and doesn't receive a position the first time, do you encourage them to apply again?
Yes. And if they've applied and they haven't heard back, they can email feedback@appen.com, and I can get one of our recruiters to look up. It may be a particular demographic that they're hiring for, and you know, there could be something specific for why there's a delay, but definitely message feedback@appen.com, and we can get them going on a project, or have a recruiter get back to them with feedback for why they weren't selected on the project.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. And let's see. Somebody's asking for a little bit more detail around the social media evaluator role. What does that entail?
More detail around the social media evaluator role. Well, we have several different roles available for social media, and specifically the roles are supporting some of the biggest social media platforms that are out there, and you can do this from it's a freelance role, and you don't have to have a marketing degree to do this. I know, or you know, what they require are online daily social media use of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, etc. The ability to follow instructions and work independently because you're working virtually, and meet the time conditions of the project, and clearly express your thoughts and feelings in English, both verbally and in writing. From a technology requirement, you need a computer that is less than 3 years old, because you're working with technology, and high-speed internet connection, and that's typically what you need, and it is flexible. You'll have to commit to working 1 to 4 flexible hours per day, 5 days per week. For some of those projects, not all, but for some, at least one day is a weekend day. And once accepted for a project, you meet consistent quality standards. And performance on that project can make you eligible for additional social media projects.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's definitely helpful. And then let's see here. For technical requirements, I know you went over those a little bit. For something like the social media evaluator role or some of the other roles, do you need a landline phone, or would a cell phone fill the phone requirement?
I think a cell phone will fill the phone requirements. I'll follow up on that when you send the message out to everyone, Bree. I'll be able to give you a solid answer, but I'm pretty sure it's a mobile phone, because a lot of people don't have landlines anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking about that. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't think so, and maybe that's something we can word that a little differently in the job description, but I'm almost certain, but I can definitely check.
Awesome. Yeah, I think probably the reason that this was asked is a lot of the customer service roles that we have, which are not what you're talking about, but a lot of the customer service roles that we list from other companies do require a landline because it is such a phone-heavy role, and if you're dropping calls, it's very annoying for people who are trying to get through to customer service and all that stuff. It's just more secure and a lot more stable, so that's probably why folks are asking. But it sounds like in this role, a cell phone might be all that's required.
And internet access.
Yes, that would be a big piece of it. Yes.
Definitely, that's a requirement.
Yep. Yeah, it would be hard to reach social media sites without that internet access, for sure. And then a number of people are asking how long these projects typically last.
It varies. Some are, some may be short term, and some people have been working as evaluators for years, and it's really hard to say because there are some that are short term, based on the client need, and some are, just longer term out there. So that one would vary.
Okay, great. And then actually we have an audience answer about the phone question. There's a woman here who does this, who's on the social media project right now, and she says you just need a mobile phone or a cell phone. So thank you, great. Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa. I love the crowdsourcing.
Yep, that's perfect. And so another question that we have coming in are if you could discuss some of the general pay rates for these types of positions.
The pay rates depend. If it's U.S., it's starting at least around $10 per hour, and it varies in different areas and states. We definitely want to stay competitive with the roles that we offer, and knowing that they are contract roles, and we offer the flexibility, and there's no commute and different things of that nature. So we continue to assess our pay rates to make sure that we are competitive with the industry.
All right, thank you. And when a project ends, are you sort of given access to new projects, or do you have to reapply for each new project that you might work on?
I don't know that in terms of access, the project managers will reach out to the individual contractor, and we're continuing to update that process where we have reached out through our database and let our existing crowd workers know that there are projects available, and we're getting better at that, so that people know that if something ends, that there's more that they can do, and you know, we will continue to update our crowd as we go along. You know, that I think initially that was more, it was difficult from a tracking standpoint.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
Yeah, and especially people who've been on some of the different projects for years, but we have reached out just recently to people in our database, and we'll continue to do that to let them know the jobs that are available through contract, because we have definitely grown. We are offering a lot of different opportunities, and you know, we have availability in different markets with different projects.
Yeah, it sounds like a growing field for sure. And a question about the hours worked. I know you mentioned the ability to work 1 to 4 hours per day. Are there certain time periods that people have to work, or are the hours that people choose totally up to them?
There's flexibility with the hours, which is what is appealing to a lot of our crowd workers. On some projects, they do ask for 1 weekend day, not all, but for some projects they may ask for at least 1 weekend day. So you know, that if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, and you know, it could be really early, really late, depending on you know, the person's schedule. But we offer the flexibility with timing.
Okay, great. And and then another person's asking related to payment and things like that. How does the payment work? Is it every 2 weeks, every month? How do you guys issue payment for projects?
It's monthly.
Okay, perfect. That's an easy answer. And let's see. For the full-time positions that you mentioned, do those offer any sorts of benefits?
Yes, they do. And we have, for our full-time positions, we have health insurance, dental, vision coverage, 401k, life insurance, health savings account, and we're if it is a full-time regular role, we do offer that, as well as paid time off and different things to benefit full-time employees.
Awesome. All right. And then for the contract roles, is there any support for people who are doing that sort of work if they're on a project and they have questions or needed to review something? What sort of support or guidance is offered for the contract workers?
The guidance would be they would work with their project managers, and that it varies with the different contract roles, but you know, they would have a person that would be their contact point.
Okay, perfect. So everybody has a contact person, so that's good. And then let's see. Some folks are looking at the jobs right now, so thanks everybody who's doing that, and trying to get a sense of things. Some of them have locations that are sort of specific, like one of them says New York/telecommute, just as an example. Do you know if that means that the person needs to be based in New York, but they'll be able to work from home in New York? What do those locations mean on the job posting?
We just actually, we posted in different areas throughout the U.S. So they don't, for example, and that may be based on the website where they're asking for a specific location. If it says New York and the person lives in New York and they are working virtually, they can work from anywhere. We've just posted in different.
Okay.
Yeah, we've just posted in different states and demographics to, you know, target different areas. But it doesn't mean that they're going into the office in New York City because it's a virtual workforce. And we've tried to target different states. And in the last 6 months, we really went out and targeted some of the states where we haven't advertised before, you know, in Iowa and in Delaware and in Wyoming and Ohio, Kentucky, and places where people may not be as familiar with Appen, and we've been able to recruit people for the flexibility that, you know, just discovered that we were around, and the way to do that is through some of the universities, through some of the military postings, and through different agencies and career boards. So that's probably why it's specific to that state, but you can work virtually for the IC
awesome.
roles.
Oh, awesome. Okay, that's great. I know sometimes it's confusing for job seekers because some virtual roles have location requirements where if it's listed in New York, they have to be based in New York, but then other ones, like these ones, it might just be that they're trying to source from different locations, but that you could actually be based anywhere, even if the job posting says one particular place. So that's great. Let's see. So any tips? This is a great question for pretty much anybody on the call today. Any tips for standing out in the application process, the types of skills or attributes that you look at? Like, what should people do if they really want to be a part of Appen?
Well, definitely having familiarity with social media, or being able to articulate that in the application process or would be helpful. But honestly, being able to clearly express your thoughts and in writing and apply with us. And you know, I think we have a lot of different opportunities, and as I said at the beginning of the call, you don't have to be a technical wizard to do the roles, but you know, I think that we have a lot of different virtual opportunities for anyone that has the technology and the flexibility, and they can follow instructions and work independently. And I just, you know, maybe some of those points in the application process, you know, as you fill out your application in terms of your interest.
Awesome, that's great to know. And kind of a related question about that. Now I'm just looking on the list of questions to locate that one. For social media, you mentioned having, you know, a good amount of social media experience, using social media on a regular basis. Is there sort of a certain minimum number of Facebook friends or Twitter followers that you look for people to have? Is that one of the things that you look for? A couple people are asking.
For some of the social media projects, yes, and it's 200 or 199 or more Facebook friends. I remember hearing that, and I think I'm probably 3 below that. But just that way, you know, you're more of what's considered an active user on Facebook.
Okay, that's great. That's very good to know. And yeah, I think I would be under that as well.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of funny because you know, when they were talking about that, I said, "Wow, I didn't realize I wouldn't have met that." But but that's just for some of the projects, not all, where they're really targeted. Great.
And actually, another crowdsourced answer here from Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. She says that one of the things that she believes helped her in her applications with Appen was that she took as many tests as possible on the site. I think that's on the FlexJobs site. We have a lot of skills tests that people can take as part of the application process. And she said yes to lots of small one-time jobs. So that kind of helped her establish herself and get in there. Thank you, Melissa. That's awesome. Good advice for people. I know. I feel like in the email tomorrow, we should give Melissa a little bit of a credit for her participation in the webinar today.
I know. Well, and that's, you know, and I, yeah, I thought the same thing. The best way to really learn about what the role is through the realistic job preview, and people who are doing this, you know, have are the best source of what a day in the life is. So thanks so much, Melissa.
Yeah, that's really helpful. And she actually wrote back, "I love Appen." So there you go.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Well, thank you. I know I'm throwing lots of questions your way. Thank you, Tammy, for hanging in there and answering all these questions as they come in. We have time for probably at least a couple more here. Let's see. Just going through the list here to make sure that we're covering all the ones that are on here, all the big ones. As far as other technical requirements, do you have any requirements around whether somebody works off a PC versus a Mac, or like a certain type of computer, laptop versus a desktop, or kind of whatever somebody has is okay?
They can use it. Well, it depends on, if they're working with different technology companies. Sometimes they want them to use their specific operating device, without mentioning the names, but having Microsoft Windows or Mac operating system would help, and we have a variety of different projects.
Okay, great. And then, as far as languages go, I know some of the projects are linguistics-based. Should people have language skills in more than one language in order to apply for all of these roles, or just the particular roles that require language-specific stuff?
Just for the particular roles that require language-specific.
Okay.
stuff. And
that'll help a lot of people.
Yes, and we definitely, that's a great skill to have. And in the world of language consultancy, if people do have skills in different languages, they can apply for the roles that we have in language resources. The crowdsource roles, you don't have to have an additional language skill to apply.
Okay, perfect. All right. And then another person, actually, speaking of the roles, someone was asking if you could describe a little bit more about the crowdsourcing role and what that entails.
More about the crowdsourcing role and what that entails. Well, the crowdsourcers are assigned to different projects, and our crowd is, this is where we have people who work on contract, and they can work various hours based on the role that we have available, and it's an on-demand type workforce where they are on contract, where they can engage in different types of projects, and they're part-time or freelance roles and flexible. So the crowdsourcing roles are not full-time. They are individual contributor contract roles, and they are part-time, flexible, and virtual roles where people can work various hours in order to do them.
Okay, great. And I think there might be a little bit of confusion for folks in terms of what part-time means. So do you have a specific number of hours that requires part-time? I know some people think of part-time as, that equals 20 hours a week, sort of like a half-time role, but I know part-time can actually vary widely, from a few hours to up to like 30, 35 hours for general types of jobs. So as far as when you say part-time jobs, what does that mean at Appen, number of hours?
Part-time jobs, and we have a lot of flexibility there. It could be 1 to 4 flexible hours per day and 5 days per week. So it doesn't have to be 20 or 30. It can be more flexible than that for different projects. Great.
Perfect. I think that clears that up. And then, another question here that a number of people have asked, are you able to work on more than one part-time project at a time for Appen?
More than one. For I think for some, yes, but not for all. And it depends on the client where it is more specific. And I can get more details when you send out the email for everyone, one or more projects, and I'll send that back to you so that we can send that in the summary.
Oh, great. Thank you. That's huge. All right. Well, let's see. Let's take a couple more questions here. Oh, and just to kind of clear up the location stuff, since I think we may have confused some people here. So one of the questions is, this person lives in Delaware, but I believe according to what you said before, they would be able to apply to one of the projects that's posted in New York. Is that correct? Because it's a virtual role, they can do it wherever they are. Is that right?
Yes, as long as they meet the qualifications. If yes, they can apply.
Okay, great. So just to clear that up for anybody who's wondering, if they don't see anything for their particular state or their city, the projects that have a location are not necessarily tied to that location because they're remote roles. So if you don't see your particular location, as long as you meet the qualifications for that role, you can still apply. And that goes for countries as well, for the contract roles. And somebody just popped up and asked about countries too.
Yes, and we have and we do have demographics where we are targeting specific countries, and you know that may be based on that particular area, but we have other opportunities globally. So if someone wants to apply, we can assign them for another project somewhere else.
Okay, great. That makes sense. And let's see. Just to reiterate, I think we had asked this question at the beginning, but a number of people have asked it recently. So typically, how long would you say it takes to get a response after applying for one of these jobs? Either a yay or a nay response.
We try to be pretty quick with the turnaround there. And, there are a lot of things that would depend on that, if it's over a weekend or based on the volume of people who applied for the role. But, typically within 3 to 4 days or within a week. Again, it would, depending on how many people applied. But our recruiting team, we try to hit service levels pretty quickly and make sure that we're responding to people. So I would give it less than a week. You should hear something back.
All right, great. And I'm actually just going to advance the slides to the how to apply slide again here so everybody can see the links for how to apply to these jobs at Appen, because we have a number of questions coming in about how do I apply, and also a lot of people who are already looking at the jobs and looking to apply. So those are the links right there. If you're a FlexJobs member, you can look at all the jobs on Appen and apply directly through FlexJobs, and then also you can go to join.appen.com. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to I'll give another shout out to the social media links here so you can follow Appen on social media. And then also, let's get to the last slide here with some next steps. So as I said, there will be an email tomorrow with a handout that we have available for this, which has just the links and information, some of the information that's been shared here today about the different types of roles that are available and how to apply to Appen's jobs. You can also download that handout right now from the GoToWebinar control panel. And if you have a hard time with that handout, we will be emailing it tomorrow, so you'll get a copy of that tomorrow for sure. You'll also get a link to a recording of this webinar so you can review all the information and make sure you've got all the details before you go ahead and apply. And there will be a survey in that email. I would love if everybody took that survey. It's, I think, 2 or 3 questions. And it really just asks you about your experience today on the webinar and how things went, and if you have any feedback for us so that we can make future presentations even better. So please look out for that email. It will happen in about 24 hours from now. Then we do have some upcoming webinars I wanted to talk about just briefly. In January 2017, we're going to be hosting a very special webinar with our FlexJobs CEO, Sarah Sutton-Fell. It's part of our 10th anniversary celebration. FlexJobs is celebrating 10 years of existence in January. We were founded in 2007. And so she's going to be talking all about how to find flexible jobs. And of course, she's got the 10 years of experience starting and growing this company and learning all about the flexible job market, and lots of really good information to share there from our wonderful CEO, Sarah. So be on the lookout for that. And then in February of 2017, we'll be hosting another employer webinar, an employer panel webinar with 3 employers from the list of the 100 top companies for remote jobs in 2017. And actually, Appen has been on that list, as you can see from the previous slide, for the last 3 years since we've been doing that. So Appen is definitely one of the top employers for remote jobs. And we'll be releasing our new list for 2017 in January and having a webinar with more employers that you can talk to there. To learn about those webinars as we start advertising them, you can go to flexjobs.com/blog and then look in the FlexJobs resources section, and then go to job search webinars and videos, and you'll see all of the upcoming stuff that we have once we get it posted there, which should be sometime in the next week or two. So let me go back to the information on how to apply, so everybody's got that as we wrap up. But Tammy, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here today and running through the gauntlet of questions that we have hurled at you. I appreciate it. It's not always easy to go through all those, so thanks.
Thanks so much, and thanks for inviting me. And feel free to contact me if you have any questions, and have a great day.
Awesome. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Wish you the best of luck in your job search wherever you might be in the world. And we have a lot of folks from all over the place here, so it was great to see everybody. And be on the lookout for that follow-up email tomorrow in about 24 hours. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks.